magazine. Beauty supreme and booty walk so mean. The way you fit in them jeans, you eat your cornbread and greens. Dance or a doctor, red wine or vodka. Redesign your spot and redefine your mantra. Retwist your locks and realign your chakras. Doing your squats and getting closer to God, huh? Brunching with your squad or taking a girl's trip. Adjust your crown, you God's gift to the world, sis. Celestial body, drink your water. Meditate, sun-kiss goddess, heavenly order. Levitate, tribe of Ashanti. Black girl magic, melanin popping. Whether you ratchet or lavish, whether you bougie or savage, you a gift and a treasure. You got to love a black girl getting a shift together. Black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, man. These black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, dog.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. I'm a Black girl who's still trying to get her shift together, and I hope you all come along on the ride with me. But each week, I have relevant topics that I promise to deliver some great guests, like tonight. But tonight, we're doing something a little different. I'm streaming from about 3 different places, 3 different destinations. So if you see me doing this a lot, it's because of the multi-stream. If you are listening on the replay, make sure and type replay in the comments. If you're visiting for the first time, just put first timer. And if you know me, tell your girl hello. It's okay. Also, please make sure and go to blackgirlsgettingtheirshifttogether.com, as well as sign up and subscribe for all my audio podcasts. All you have to do is just put in Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together and give your girl a 5-star review. I know you're watching, and it's okay. Please. All right. Also, if you like anything that you're hearing tonight, please make sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Again, Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. It'll come right up. That way you can know of all notifications whenever I have a dynamic topic coming up. So tonight I have a dynamic guest. She was on last month and I enjoyed her so much. She did it so well, we had to do it twice. So tonight I have the lovely Dr. Cassandra Parks Evans. She's going to come on. I'm about to get you out of the waiting room, Dr. Sand. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. I know there's a delay and I'm sorry, but I can still hear you just fine.
No worries. No worries. We're going to get right into it. So for those who have not seen Dr. Cassandra when she was on last time, we did an episode on intimacy and how to build it with yourself as well as your spouse. But tonight we're going to have some after dark sex talk. And guess what? She's a sex therapist. All right, let's get right into it. We already have some comments already coming in. We have another guest that's been on. I will just put what he has on.
Well, you do what you got to do. As long as everybody's consenting adults, no animals or children are involved, you do what you need to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and yeah, we'll talk about him later. He's a funny guy. I actually like him a lot.
Well, good.
Here's a tidbit for people who do not know. Jay Hamilton that was on, he was my first guest of Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together.
Very nice. Very nice.
He's a therapist here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get right into it, Dr. Sand. We're going to start talking. Can you give a brief description on how you became a sex therapist?
Yes. Well, I like to go by sex coach and consultant because if which they need to go back and watch the first one, the first time I was on. You learn that I like the fight of it all. I like the day ins, the day outs. And I kind of equate it to like a football team. There's the owner, which to me is kind of like the counselor. You see them every once in a while. They kind of ask you what's going on, and they give you what they think, and then you kind of move on. But it's the coach that's there when you're playing a sport, day in, day out, making sure that your mind state is right, making sure you're eating, making sure you're doing your exercises. So that's why I kind of like being more of the coach consultant side of it, but I love just making sure people love the way that they need to be loved.
That's amazing. And coaches are needed. They are.
Yes,
Help you
yes,
propel forward.
yes.
So let's get into it. Sex therapy. What is
Yes.
it?
Well, sex therapy is a number of things. It can be the part that, you're having some sexual issues, meaning that you may feel like you're thinking about sex too much, which could be possibly sexual addiction. It could be the performance anxiety. You may have had sexual trauma in the past. And this goes for females and males. It's very prevalent with both sexes. So it may be something like performance anxiety, from a previous trauma. It can be something as far as incompatibility, with your partner, or it can just be sexual aversion. So there's a number of things that a therapist can work with you about. But
Can you
in
explain what
all,
sexual aversion is?
yes. Well, when we talk about incompatibility, most people think that we're just speaking in general terms of, not being able to, somebody's libido's off, or something like that. But as far as sexual aversion, it ooh, see, you trying to make me go into everything right now, but sex
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I never heard
that
of sexual aversion.
that's okay. A lot of people haven't, and what it does is it's a type of behavioral therapy that is, exposes you to different stimuli. From to why being, I okay. How can I put this in layman's terms? It is like it's a disorder. I have to be careful with this because I don't want to be like I'm giving diagnosis. That's why I said how can
Oh,
I
well, we
explain
can
this?
skip.
And
We can skip
no, no, no,
over
no,
that.
no.
Oh,
It's just mostly about anxiety level and exposing people to anxiety producing stimuli while giving them relaxation exercises. So
oh,
it goes in different ways and different things, but that's the general term of it.
interesting. I never
Yes.
heard of it.
Yes, it kind of goes with sexual discomfort, sexual trauma. Um, Again, performance anxiety sometimes has sexual aversion disorder. It it's involved in creating a hierarchy of sexual activities that provoke intimacy levels and anxiety levels, and exposing them to them and giving you ways to work through them. That's the
Mm,
that's the cleanest way I could say it without making it seem like I'm giving a diagnosis.
got it. Got it. So, who would be a good candidate? And yeah, who would be a good candidate for sexual
Um,
coaching?
well, anybody who needs coaching or therapy, it depends on your comfort level. I'll say that. Therapy is very good as well as coaching, and therapy is sometimes we do have the anxiety factor with it, so you might want to go to a psychologist so you can maybe talk through your issues, but sometimes they may find that you need something further as far as medication. Then you would have to go to a psychiatrist. But it I would always start with a medical professional. You can try to talk just basic stuff with your PCP and let them recommend what they think to you, and maybe they will give you a number to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or they may tell you to look in alternative methods, such as coaching or consulting. Some people have the stigma of therapy, meaning it
Mm,
sounds mental health like it's feels heavy, but
mm.
coaching they're more open to because it is an alternative health medicine.
I'm learning so much already.
Good. Well, good. That's why we're here to talk.
So this may sound ignorant on my end, but I just assumed that sex therapy or coaching would be for couples. And so I was reading some articles preparing for you, and it can be for individuals. Hmm.
Yes. Yes, and it's very important to work on yourself, because what happens is you want to be the best person that you can be for a relationship. And again, I'll always say this too. I cannot say it anymore. With a relationship, especially a romantic relationship, that person should complement you and not complete you. Meaning, you should try to come to the relationship as whole as possible. If you want somebody to give 100%, you have to be 100% yourself. So, that's why
Mhm.
I always tell people, if you have a breakup or something that's damaging in a relationship, go seek therapy or coaching or whatever that makes you feel comfortable, because you need to get those feelings out and you need to know how to deal with them. So,
Mhm.
and it sometimes can roll into your sexual needs and your sexual wants. So it's also good as an individual to go and seek that out, to get that together, so you can go back to your relationship a little bit of a better person.
Mm. And while you're talking, that reminds me of that movie. I can't remember, with Tom Cruise. It was a movie a long time ago, and his love interest. You know what I'm about to say?
Was it Eyes Wide Shut? No, was that
No.
the movie? Magno. I think I know what you're talking about. Um,
It's at the tip of my tongue.
I believe
Show
I
me the
know.
money. You all in the comments listening, if you know the movie I'm talking about, when Cuba Gooding Jr. says, "Show me the money."
Oh, Jerry Maguire.
There we go. You can tell I don't watch movies. That I'm horrible at.
I don't
But I
either, so don't feel bad.
side note, you know the last movie I saw
What?
was Black Panther.
Now I'm gonna need you to.
But wait, there's more. And before that, the last movie I saw was Dreamgirls with Beyonce.
Ooh. Well, do you watch them at home?
No, I don't.
That's because
I,
you too busy getting money.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Well, good.
But in that movie, Tom Cruise's love interest, she said, "You complete me. I feel
Yeah.
whole when I'm with you." But
Yes.
back then, I didn't have the mindset that I have now. So,
Hmm.
of course, I was like, "Oh my God, this is so lovely." But you're right. You have to work on being whole instead of waiting for someone to complete you. You're right. You come to the table with your whatever your 100% is.
Right. And the thing that I always, my golden rule with any relationship is, do unto others what you want done to you. That's like the old Bible scripture. If you want somebody to come to you with their stuff together, emotional issues in check, physical
Mhm.
issues in check, you should be able to go to another person and be the same way. So it's important to always work on ourselves and always work on our goals, because when we work on our goals and our visions and our dreams, it always gives us something to strive for and always to be better about.
Facts on facts. I like that. Have you ever had a couple that will come in and their sexual compatibility was so off?
Yes, yes, I have, and it was difficult to get them on track, but they finally did get on track,
You
And
can get on track
yes, but
without sacrificing yourself?
now there's going to have to be compromises on both sides. There has to be compromises because there in order for your partner to meet you to what is acceptable to you, you have to be what's acceptable to them as well. Again, this is a 100% type of giving. You can't give 50% and expect somebody else to give 100 because you're only going to get, by the law of averages, 75. Yeah, that's kind of good, but it's still kind of, you know, either way, like when we was in school, you get one more C, you might fail, So you have to think of it like that. And when it comes to incompatibility, especially when it comes to sexually, you have to, there's going to have to be some compromise. There's going to have to be some things that are done. Now, the incompatibility could be from a number of reasons. We got to get to the stem of the reasons. Is it stress?
Mm,
Is it a trust issue because someone has, had infidelity,
right.
and infidelity can come in all forms of fashions. It can be financial, it can be physical, it can be emotionally. How many times have we read on TikTok or the little stories, when somebody's sitting there crying and they talking about, that she went through somebody's phone and found all these messages. And the person may not have physically had sex with them, but they found all these messages. That's emotional infidelity as well, So we
Mhm.
got to understand what our boundaries are when it comes to relationships and what is infidelity and what is not. So that can be one cause of incompatibility. It can just be something physical as well, with men, especially when you get to after 30, now it's getting kind of younger. It can
Is
be,
it?
yes, it could be ED, because what happens is ED is not necessarily hormonal. It can be, but it can be stress. It's all about blood flow and moving parts. So, it can be stress, from a work or a job or life. And same with women, we get tired. You may have 3 kids that you have to look after, that are
Mhm.
under the age of 5, and you got to cook dinner, and you're working from home, and you're tired, and you may not feel like being
Yeah.
physical with your spouse. So there's a number of issues that can go on with incompatibility, but what we have to do is we have to find the root of it, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, whatever it is, and work through those issues, and then try to rebuild the from there.
Mm. Can you go a little can you explain about financial infidelity? Uh,
Oh, yes, that's a good one. It's that girl, I went to the mall and I bought them shoes and I had to put them in the back of the closet because he can't know that I spent that money. Or
Oh,
the dude that said, I spent way too much money on these rims for my car. If my girl found out, she gonna trip. It's the Starbucks, it's the nails, it's the hair, it's the J's that he's bought, So when we talk
mm.
in financial infidelity, it can be, what's your credit looking like? Did you lie when you got together with the person, and didn't tell them
Oh,
the truth about your financial situation? It can be, you spend too much money and you really need to go on a budget, or you lied about how much you made and you don't make nearly as much as you portrayed that you did, and now you're in a financial struggle. So
mm.
financial infidelity can be many levels.
That's a lot. And I've heard this before. Well, the different scenarios, but I never put the term financial infidelity to it. I
Hmm.
never thought about it like that. Hi, Sarenthia. We have a hello for you as well, Dr.
Hi.
Smith.
Hi. Hello. But it's the whole thing of not telling the truth. Infidelity means not being true.
Hmm.
So we're sometimes we're emotionally have infidelity emotionally because we're not telling the truth about our feelings. It's that,
Ooh.
and that's usually, before a divorce, a breakup. Somebody's feeling very cold, very absent. They're emotionally not there for you, so their feelings for you are not true.
Wow.
There's a lot of things that can go on with emotional infidelity as well.
I never put a term to that either. I mean, I had my
Yes.
own layman's terms, but hearing it come from a doctor, it makes sense.
Yes, but it comes to a point where a lot of us don't realize what's going on. We kind of live our day-to-day lives, and we don't think about the little things and the technical term that it is for them.
Hmm.
See,
Let's go back.
you made me talk technical terms. I told you I didn't want to.
I, I'm hungry for the knowledge.
I, well,
It,
I love giving it. But I'm playing, of course, because I
yeah.
want to make sure that everybody gets the information that they need. And a lot of times it's the little things like this that we don't think of. And if I can help somebody learn anything, that's one thing that I want them to do.
Yeah, because even though you will talk technical, you don't get so deep, you still make it understandable.
Yes, and that was the big thing that we was talking about, sexual aversion, because that can get kind of heavy. So
Hmm.
I was trying to lighten it up as much as possible, but there's
Hmm.
all these technical terms, and people are like, "Huh, what?" So I tried to describe it the best that I could in layman's terms without getting too heavy. So that's my purpose. That's why I like being Dr. Sand versus being Dr. Cassandra Parks Evans, because I want to be relatable to you. You know, we unless you went to school for this, you're not really worried about the technical terms. You're wondering what the information is and how you can get better. So that's my purpose, and that's one thing that I my charge in life is to give you the information in bite-sized pieces so you can understand, and we can get you to your goal that you need.
Absolutely. When you talk, like initially it'll be a mountain, but you know how to serve it up in pebbles so that it's digestible. And I was like, okay. And side note, you didn't know this. After our last live we did together, I had a few inboxes. People were very intrigued about the intimacy conversation.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm
Hmm.
thankful. Thank you so much.
Yes. So let's go pivot back to the sexual infidelity. Can a couple bounce back from that?
Yes, but it's going to take work. It didn't take, instant to get in it. Uh, Unfortunately, people think it is. Um, but it takes a moment to get into that, because you have to have the mindset. It's the, well, will this person find out if I do this? And, there's so many layers to that. And the first layer is, why did you do it? you know um
Ooh.
and is it because you are insecure? Is it because you feel like that you're not getting your needs met sexually? Is it because you didn't tell the truth and allow your boundaries to be known in the beginning? you know um is it because you're somebody else is not being attentive to you, and they're being cold and
Mhm.
calculating, and you don't know what's going on with them? So, that's the
Mhm.
first layer that it can be. It could be your sexual drive and desire. Are you hypersexual? If you are, you need to go to therapy or coaching, and try to work through that.
To be hypersexual? Really?
Yes, hypersexuality is a big, it's a big issue. When we think about it, everything around us is really sexual, and we can have thoughts at any moment thrown to us, even if we're just walking down the street. It could be somebody in a tight dress. It can be, an ad on television where the man is sitting there and he's got no shirt on. It can be just the littlest thing. And, anything that has to do, how many times have we heard, something on the radio and it was a little suggestive, and
Mm-hmm.
it's always around us. So there's anything that can spark that in any moment. And hypersexuality is, it can be a disease, it can be a mental issue, depending on how you want to define it. But there's always help for that too, because that could be one area why somebody is, has a different sex drive than somebody else, and incompatibility. So there's,
Wow.
that's a whole different lot of layers as well.
Hmm. It makes sense. It makes sense. Could it be emotional as well? Doing it for external validation?
Oh, very much so. A lot of people have affairs and infidelity because their self esteem is damaged. It gives them
You
quote
mean
unquote.
before the actual act?
Yes, yes.
Mm.
It could be that they have low self esteem about themselves. And it makes them feel like, somebody actually wanted me. It can be
Oh.
somebody who feels like they have too much of a self-esteem issue and feels like that they owe themselves to have anything that they want.
Is that
So,
narc vibes?
it could be.
Mm.
That person can have a whole lot of stuff piled onto them. And they can have all kinds of issues and disorders that go on to that. But with infidelity, it can be a lot of things, but mostly for the repair of it, which is how we started the question. Repair of
Right.
infidelity can be once you uncover all those layers and fix that layer and foundation, then you can go back to try to start building your trust again, because infidelity is going to more than likely break the trust of a relationship. So that other
Mhm.
person is going to need their trust rebuilt. And there's going to be things that need to go on. And if you're the person who broke the person's trust, you're going to have to understand that and work with them on that until they feel comfortable. Now, the person who got hurt, I totally understand how you feel, but at this point, if you're going to try to move forward, then you need to try to do the steps to move forward. You can't stay stuck in that place because that's not fair
Yes.
to that person. You have to make a decision one way or the other. And I'm not saying that any decision that you make is right or wrong, but what you have to do is you have to make that decision, stand on it, and try to move forward from there.
Mm. Yeah. I think someone who is with their secure attach or an anxious attachment, I think that that would be a person that would take a hell of a lot longer to
Mm,
trust.
yes. And,
That's
and
just my
and
opinion.
it can be, but sometimes when the person cheats, they understand what they did. It can be a wake up call for them, because say it is a person that has low self-esteem and they cheat and they see the devastation that they did to their partner. That can be their wake up call. Hey, I need to get myself together because I need to ask myself why I really did this. you know if
But
it's if it's sexual needs and gratifications, maybe you need to go to therapy and talk about that and figure out what is the sexual issue that you have against your partner where you felt like you needed to go outside of your relationship. If it is a self issue like self-esteem or something like that, again, you still need to go to therapy and try to figure out why you did that. Why is your self-esteem low? Why is all those why questions, maybe you can get an
Mm,
answer to build yourself back up. Do you feel bad about your self, image? Do you feel bad about your self-worth? Have you seen somebody in the past cheat? Because it could be a learned behavior. So there's
yes.
many things that need to be uncovered with that as well.
But realistically, wouldn't that behavior, if someone is that hurt, seeing what the damage that they've done from the infidelity, wouldn't that person have to have some emotional intelligence to feel that? What about the person who doesn't give a shit?
Oh, well, yes and no, because again, that's going into that diagnosis thing. Say you
Okay.
have a personality disorder, and you're kind of detached from reality, so to say, and you think, you may think everything that you do is great and it revolves around you, and you can't do no wrong, and it is what it is. You deserve to be happy.
Mm,
So
yeah,
it could be both ways.
I see.
So and we see the damage that it could do with the last president that we had in the United States, but that's a whole different story.
Right. Well, I have a question for you from one of our listeners. And guess what? Little
Yes.
known fact, he also is an alumni of Southwest DeKalb.
Woo! Southwest Cat. Class of 93.
So Travis wants to know, do men and women cheat at the same amount? There is a myth that men cheat more than women.
Woo! Okay, I'm giving you the Dr. Sand version and not the Decatur Sand version.
Can we have both versions?
Yes, which one
Let's
would you
do
like
Dr.
first?
Sand first.
The Dr. Sam version is yes, both men and women cheat equally. Um, that
Hmm.
is a myth. Depending, men cheat because they're not getting their sexual needs met most of the time. Most of the time. Like I said, that's not an all thing. But women cheat because they're not getting their emotions met most of the time.
Hmm.
So it's that incompatibility as far as sexuality versus emotional. Most women will only cheat if they're emotionally damaged in some form or fashion. I'm not saying
Mhm.
all. I'm not saying all.
Right. Right.
But most of the time, if there's a absence of emotional dependency
Mm.
on a person, can also cause cheating. If they have an absence in their current relationship and they find dependency on someone else, that can cause them to cheat. But
S-
it is a myth.
Mm.
Now, the
So
Decatur Sam version
that's what we want to hear. Yes.
is shouty, we both cheat the same, but no, it is a myth. But it,
I love
it,
it.
the shouty, it happens to both men and women. That's the
Mm.
Decatur Sam version side. And,
Well,
and she
okay.
and
She
she will
what?
also tell you to keep everybody keep their stuff tight so nobody have to step out.
Yeah. With the table flip.
Yes.
Oh, that's a running joke on this show. That is a run. So we may have to pivot a little bit because when I put on social media that this was the topic,
Yes.
my DMs were popping.
Okay. Well, I'm here for it.
Let me get my phone. I
I,
sure will. So, all right. One person wanted to know, how can she enjoy sex with her man who has a small penis?
ooh, that's a good one. Well, first of all,
Hey, Queen Call. I'm
yes.
listening.
Hi. First of all, if she is with him, it's more than a sexual thing. Of course, there is an emotional attachment.
What
Show
can men understand that? Oh, I can just go on a deep dive with that, but go ahead.
no, go ahead. We look. Oh, we got time. We got 25 minutes. I can talk fast.
For them to understand, for us to be with you, like we really like you.
Yeah. And most of the time,
That.
again, most of the time, if a woman is sleeping with someone, there's an emotional attachment there.
Hmm.
She likes them. They did something that makes her feel magnificent. And I'm not saying men don't, but we know men can detach from their feelings a little bit more than women can sometimes.
Interesting. So, on the flip side, another person wanted to know. She says she thinks she's a size queen and she wants to know where could the genesis of that be. And for those who do not know, if you can explain a size queen,
Ooh,
can you do Dr. Sin and then Sin from
yes.
Southwest to Cat? That's
well,
what.
I just thought about it. We got to finish the first question first
Oh,
because we
yes.
kind of glazed over that. But as far as dealing with a man with a small penis, first of all, again, if she's with him, there's an emotional attachment there. But
Hmm.
what I can say is there are a number of toys that you can use to enhance your sexual experience if you're not satisfied sexually. And I said if. Just because he has a small penis does not necessarily mean that you're not enjoying the experience. But if you would like to incorporate toys in there, there are penis extenders.
Hmm.
There are pumps, as your friend said earlier, that you can
Right.
do to enlarge. There's also, different techniques and positions that you can use. There's also things that you can use collectively as a toy, meaning like, vibration toys,
Hmm.
or you may want to just use a dildo or a
Hmm.
vibrator if you want the vibration, of course. But just do different things and use different items to enhance your sex life as well.
How would a woman present that to her man with his ego?
Um, there's a lot of ways that we can do that too.
Hmm.
One way is always watch TV. And usually when you're watching a show, it's usually a little bit of a relaxed situation. You're watching it for information or entertainment. So if you're watching it for entertainment, more than likely there's going to be some sort of commercial. And we all know there's either some sort of commercial or movie will have some sexual reference to it. That's
Hmm.
always a good way to kind of slide that in, especially like if you're watching TV, late night, there's all kinds of Trojan commercials or, condom commercials. That's an excellent time to bring that up. And the later that you go, sometimes you'll see the sex stores will have
Hmm.
some sort of discount or something like that. Shameless plug, you can come to my website and buy them from my site as well, but that's a whole different story.
Hey, that's what we want. And for those, this is the website right here, correct?
Yes, but you can bring it up then, oh, that is interesting, maybe we might want to try that. Would you be interested in trying something like that? And then what you can do is let your partner lead first, so they feel like they have a say so in it, because some men feel like that sex toys are quote unquote taking over. We've seen the memes about the woman with the roses now, and we've seen on TikTok people talking about them, and the Instagram memes and stuff like that. So if you let your partner take the charge on it, then they feel more included. Sometimes you can feel excluded when a partner introduces a sex sex toy. So try to make it cohesive, try to make it fun, maybe they don't understand how it works, and maybe if you worked with them on it and show them how it works or how they can be involved in it, they'll be more open to it. But if your partner does not like it and kind of wants to decline it, you have to understand that that may be a new subject for them that they're not understanding at the moment, and you may want to revisit it at another time.
Mm, yeah, that's a touchy question. And Queen Cole said, yes, she's heard that also. And good point. Get them involved. I do agree with that, to get them
Yes.
involved so it can be cohesive.
Yes, and it makes it fun, it can build anticipation. A lot of times anticipation is a wonderful thing when it comes to a sexual relationship, because
Mhm.
it gives you that new feeling, like when you first was, touching and grabbing and kissing
Right.
and all that other stuff. So it can bring back those feelings. And not only that, it's a bonding moment. Whether people want to believe it or not, it helps bond you because you're doing something together as a unit. Anytime that you're doing something together as a unit, whether you're learning something new or doing something that you've done 1,000 times, like cooking or something like that, it's always a new and special moment. So you should
Mhm.
understand that and take that and embrace that.
Mm. Okay. I like it. I do like it. It seemed like you would just really have to, excuse the pun, but really slow stroke the the conversation.
Yes,
You got to
but
prime that up, right? Because that's
yeah,
that
yeah,
male ego. You don't want to shatter it, but
yes, but you got to understand this too. Sometimes women's egos get shattered too because men watch
absolutely.
porn a lot. And it's the I don't understand why he's watching porn, or why is he doing this or why is he doing that? And so we get a little, I don't like when he watches that, knowing that he'll never see that person necessarily, but
Hmm.
it's a thing where you can get your feelings hurt too as a female if he's heavily watching porn or involved in porn. So
Right.
it's a give and take. That's why I always say try to do whatever you're going to do together. And if you're going to do it together, then your partner should kind of already know what you're into, because if you would have had the boundary talk at the beginning. Now, again, sometimes we do change our interest and we grow into different things and we learn about different things, but your partner should also kind of be able to be flexible and understand that we do
Absolutely.
grow in relationships and we may want to try new things. So that should always be a part of, well, this is what I like as a base, but, in the future, if I do find something that I'm interested in, are you willing, to try to consider it? And that should always be a question that you have in a relationship. You should
Mm.
never be stagnant in one particular type of relationship.
I like that. Shouldn't be stagnant. You always want flow,
Yes.
whether if it's
Yes.
emotional flow, financial flow,
Yes.
mental flow. I like
Yes.
that. Okay, let me go to the next pop-up question that was sent to me. Oh, we didn't go to the size queen,
Oh,
but
yes, a size queen. A size queen can be it's a slang for a man or a woman who prefers a sexual partner with a large penis.
mhm.
That's basically all that it is. And being a size queen, some people are, and that is your preference, and we all have preferences and boundaries, like I just said, if it doesn't involve kids or animals or not, and everybody consents, then you're free to do whatever you want you know
Absolutely.
um Now the thing is with that, are you discounting some qualified people because you're you know attracted to men with large penises?
Mm.
Are you going to shut down an individual that, fits every other category, but that's just kind of suspect?
Right.
And when I have women who kind of are defined like that, or men that are defined like that, the first thing I always ask them is, are you going to F them 24 hours a day? No, you're not. You need
We're
some
not.
other stuff going on, So
Yeah.
you gonna let a whole man go because of that? Now I understand that everybody's sexual preference is important to them, because that's what I teach. You should be proud about what your sexual preference is. But in the same breath, are you gonna ruin a great relationship that somebody compliments you in other ways just for that? Maybe you need to figure out a way to supplement that and keep everything else.
Right. We have a hello, God's construction. Good evening, beautiful royals. Hey,
Thank you.
Celeste. Celeste says, I agree. I've been married 13 years and sex has evolved through communication.
Yes. Good
Yeah.
job, Celeste, the therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. It's very important to talk to your partner, because guess what? Your partner may want to change some stuff up about you. Yeah, now
Facts.
now we talk about feelings being hurt, huh? Oh, I'm not doing what? You got
I
complaints
know.
with somebody, maybe they got complaints with you too.
Like
And
me?
maybe if you did what they wanted, maybe they'll do something for you. Again,
Right.
it's that give and take situation.
God's construction said right because things can change 24 years later.
Yes, it does. And what we have to realize is, the older that we get in the relationship, stuff is changing. There's new stresses. There's new, you may have more children together. Working jobs are different now. Somebody may have more responsibility at their job and less time at home and more stress.
Mhm.
What does that equate to? Incompatibility. So, stuff changes, but you have to talk about your changes, and you have to come to an even playing ground each time something changes. Again, you may have more time now. A lot of times later on in life, they always ask, well, why are women, cougars now, and, want a younger man? Because naturally they have less stress off of them now. The kids are gone to school.
Ah,
Um,
I never
they're,
thought about it like that.
yes, the kids are off to school. Now they're empty nesters. You got more time now. You can do stuff. The kids ain't around. You may be in a situation now where you've changed with your job. A lot of times, you don't put 20, 30 years in. You ready for retirement and having fun.
A
But on
lot
the
of fun.
flip, yeah, but on the flip side, the males may have more responsibility at work because of the number of years that they're there. Maybe their management. Not saying women can as well, but
Right.
things are usually a little bit different when kids are involved, marriages are, change. And that's
Mhm.
why, unfortunately, you see a lot of people 20, 40, 40 years get a divorce, because they realize that they lost their connection. They lost what kept
Mm.
them together, because during those 40 years they didn't communicate that all the time. So
Ooh,
it's
that's
very
a
important.
word.
Yes, that's why it's so important to do a checkup on your relationship. It may be something that is difficult for you to hear. And this is on all aspects of your relationship. It can be the physical, the emotional, and the mental. But you need to check in with your partner or partners,
Mhm.
depending on what type of lifestyle that you have, and find out. Some things, again, you may not want to hear what they have to tell you, but it may be detrimental for your relationship for you to hear in order to
Ooh.
keep going. Sometimes we do have to put on them big boy or big girl draws and listen to that, because if you want somebody to change for you, you have to be willing to change for them.
You're speaking. Ooh, you are telling something. That is so true. I feel that you have to put your ego aside
You do.
to
And
be. Mhm.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh
You know,
no, it's fine.
your ego should not be in the way when it comes to a relationship. And that's any relationship, because sometimes there's going to be miscommunication, sometimes there's going to be things that need to be talked out. Are you going to sit there and be angry for the rest of your life for somebody
Mhm.
that you supposedly care about? And this can be it not just necessarily a romantic relationship. I'm talking about our relationships, even work relationships. How many times have we been like, F that chick, I don't like her, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that at work, but you need to work with her on a project. Now, I'm not saying you have to be her best friend, but you need to get some kind of understanding. Hey, I understand you don't like me, I don't really like you, but we got to get this project done. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to
Mm.
talk to each other respectfully and keep it all business.
Mhm.
You don't have to know nothing about what I do outside of at 5:01. You don't need to say not a damn word to me. But from 9:01 to at least 4:59 and 59 seconds, you gonna talk to me, and I'm gonna talk to you like a human.
Right. I love that.
So
Yeah.
you got to do them checkups, in all forms of
Temperature
fashions.
checks.
Yeah, you got to.
We have a comment here from God's Construction said yes, because we didn't base our relationship on just sex. We still are, oh, we're still best friends with
That's
respect.
That's beautiful. And see, that shows you that you had a true relationship and you built it the right way. There's those times where not everything, like I said, is going to be rainbows. There's going to be some clouds and some rain in order to get the rainbows.
Mm-hmm.
But the mutual respect, it when it gets those years in where you go through births and deaths and graduations and
Mm.
marriages and all that stuff, when your families get intertwined and stuff, you need to remember those times and what you meant to each other during those times. And a lot of times that'll help bring you back to the center of the relationship. Once you stop
Yes.
trying and stop remembering, then that's when stuff gets all pulled and stretched out. You start listening to that. Woo! That is one thing that if I can't drive anything home today is keep your mouth shut about your relationship unless it is a professional person that deals with relationships.
Really?
That's women and men. Do not go to your mama, your sister, your best friend and run your mouth about something, because unless it's,
Explain.
don't go running with all your problems. Girl, I can't stand when he don't do this, this, and this, and this. Yo, man, my chick don't do this, and that, and that. Now, we all need an outlet. I understand that, but you
That's
need
what I
to
was
put
gonna say. What about the outlet?
but you need to put it in perspective, because what happens when you tell too many people information? It spreads.
Like a virus.
Think about the more times that you tell somebody, that pulls your information out. And if
Mm.
all these people in your family, because if you call your cousin Bonita, she gonna call your mama and be like, "What's up with her? Why is she doing this, and this?" And your mama's like, "What?"
Mhm.
Then it's gonna come all back around. Then she's looking at the son-in-law crazy. She looking at you crazy because you ain't handled the situation. It's too much going on.
Absolutely. God's Construction said, I just screamed. That's been our motto since 1998. We do not speak ill of each other and to other people. Let's see, because it creates division in the home.
Yes, it
And they
does.
said, oh my God, I'm loving this.
Thank you. And one thing that I will say, and I know you only got a couple of minutes left,
Oh,
and I know
it's
you're gonna
fine.
close out.
No, it's fine. I'm going as long as you go.
Fighting fair. We need to fight fair. That is one of my other things that is very important, is fighting fair. One is not telling everybody your business. Two,
Right.
stay on topic.
Wait,
Stay
wait.
on topic.
Dr. Sam, before we go on,
Yes.
have you seen that show called Family or Fiance?
No. But I, how you say, quick side story, I was
Yeah.
going to be a contestant on there. They were going to follow me one time because when,
What?
yes, because my mother and my mother had an issue at first when I got together with my boyfriend. Well, he's my now husband, but when we first got together, there was a little friction there, and they had actually reached out to me to possibly be one of the coaches on there, and then they found out, oh, you got a story yourself, so that's the little fun fact about that. But now
How
everybody
did
loves, yes, now everybody loves everybody, and we're married and everything's good. So, but yeah, we were gonna be a contestant on that show.
you
So
are
yes,
kidding me?
no, it was not. It has not always been roses and bubbles. No,
Yeah.
but yes, have seen the show and I do understand that, and there, true, your most of the time that your family wants your best interest at heart,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes what they think is your best interest at heart is because you haven't set your boundaries and let them know you're the real you. So when sometimes
Ooh.
when you bring somebody in and they say he's not good for you, he doesn't even match you or fit you, you've been betraying a lie to your family. You've been trying to
Mm.
show something else instead of being your true authentic self. So that can be an issue. It can also be a jealousy issue. It can be a control issue. There can be, again, there's all those layers that go into that. But a lot of times you have to be who you are.
Right.
And unfortunately we see a lot of this when it comes to, the coming out stories and things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's so commendable when people come out, is because it's a hard thing to have somebody accept you for what you believe in and what you want.
Right.
And not everybody's going to accept you. I understand that. But, the ones that do accept you and love you for being your true self, then you need to gravitate around them.
Mm. Mm. So, next point, you said stay
Yes.
on topic.
Yeah, stay on
That's
topic.
huge.
Stay on topic. Um, it's that grabbing back of, well, back in 1758, you didn't do this, and that, and that, and that, and that. We ain't talking about 1758. We talking about today.
Yes.
Unless it happened today and it has something to do immediately on what you're talking about, don't go back and reach on nothing past, because you should have worked it out back then. If you didn't work it out back then that's your issue. You need to suck it up and keep moving forward. Don't bring that crap. I almost said something bad. Don't bring that shit up now. Don't do that.
Exactly. Let me tell you, story time. Okay. So, this was a long time ago. Let me just say this. So, the boyfriend at the time, we were in a drive-through and we were fussing. I don't remember, it was so long ago. But to me, it was something small. But see, there you go. It's the lack of communication. So
Hmm.
now looking back, I probably presented myself as being dismissive about it because whatever it was, I just didn't feel like it was a big deal, but I was still listening.
Hmm.
Saying next thing I knew, we were in Marietta off of I-75. Literally, we got to Midtown Atlanta in point 0.3 seconds. He slammed the gas and he started talking about something that happened 2 weeks ago. I had no idea what he was talking about. So then he's
Hmm.
upset because I'm trying to really think, well, what happened 2 weeks ago? And it was just
Hmm.
a lack of communication and it was just not good. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And that's not fair to that person, because a
what?
lot can happen in an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
So
yeah.
so if you going months and months and months, you like, what the hell are you talking about?
Which
Well,
was
I
actually
didn't.
another trigger because you don't know what I'm talking about. And then there goes something else.
Right. So if you have an issue with somebody, it's try to get it worked out as quickly as possible. The old adage, never go to bed angry, is always a good one. Try to get it, because 24 hours is enough time to work through most things. Most things. Some things, that infidelity thing, it's
Oh,
not
we
going to
stayed
be,
up all night.
yeah,
We are staying up all night.
it's not going to be an instant fix for that. There's certain things that you're going to have to ride out. But most things, stuff like, I don't like the way you said that to me. Or, money issues or something like that. Most of the time, you can kind of talk through that and get a understanding. And something else with fighting fair, real quick, is don't
Yeah.
come with a problem unless you come with a solution.
I love it.
Do not come with a
I
problem unless
love
you
it.
have a solution, because guess what? What is mostly going to happen? Well, I don't like when you do this, this, and this. Well, what do you expect me to do?
Mm.
And then there's crickets. You can't bring a problem to somebody and not bring a solution, because what happens when you bring a solution is it gives you something to bounce back on. You know, I need you. I don't understand why you can't pay the rent this week. Well, I can't pay the rent this week because I only made this amount. What can we do about that? Well, I think that, maybe we can, you know, can you float it for, this week, and then next week I'll pick it up on my next shift. Come with a solution. You
It
know,
goes back to the communication.
it comes back to the communication. You have to communicate, and again, it's not fair and it's very accusatory to come to somebody with a problem and not a way that would help you satisfy the the problem and the fixing of it. Now, I'm not saying that they're gonna be like, okay, I see your way and I like it. But what it does is, well, I can't do that, but I can do this.
Mm.
Well, I'm not sure about that. Can you do this and that? Well, I can do that and this. Okay, okay. We getting somewhere. It starts communication. It starts banter back and forth.
I
You
love
know,
that.
so don't come with a problem unless you come with a solution. That's for anybody. That's any kind of relationship, whether it's family, work, or romantic. Don't go with no problems and no solutions.
Can someone type that in the comment section for me? I love that. I need to have that so I can go back and refer. That is amazing.
Well, thank you. But yeah,
Yes.
that's one of my pet peeves. You gotta fight fair. You have to fight fair.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, like I said, fighting fair. If you have a couple of basic things down, then you'll be all right and you can do it.
Mm. Girl, you are speaking your speech tonight. So
Well,
this
thank you.
question comes from a she's single.
Okay.
She wanted to make sure that that was prefaced. She said, "It's been 2 months and I'm still not impressed with his sex. Should I be patient or am I wasting my time?"
Well, the number one question is, have you expressed to him how you like your sex? I,
Mm.
I mean, again, you can't
Mic
just
drop.
you can't just go and be like, okay, well, I need him to do this, and that, and he don't do that, that, and that. Well, have you told him? Maybe the last person that he was with didn't like that. So he's kind of
Mm.
like, he tried it on her, she didn't like it, and he got bumped down so many times. He's like, I'm not trying that no more. Because every time I do,
Mm.
maybe every woman I know doesn't like it. Now, there's a difference between him not doing it because, he just doesn't do that. And there may be a difference because he doesn't do it because previous people didn't like that, or it could be that he doesn't have the confidence enough to feel like he does something well. Either way, you need to find out. You
Yes.
have to have that talk. You have to, well, when it comes to sex, I'm kind of into this, and that should be something that, unfortunately, is established fairly early when you do have that sex talk. A lot of us,
Mm.
myself included, I have in the past, went right from 0 to 60 when it comes to sexual relationships and haven't explained anything that I wanted or I needed. So that's why
Hmm.
it's important as an individual to know what you need and you want. So when you go into a relationship, you're completed and not, needing someone to complete you. You need someone to complement you.
Absolutely. And that goes back to getting to know your body wholly as well. So you know
Yes.
what to ask for instead of just having somebody just do whatever they want. Not in a malicious way, but
Right.
you got to know
Right.
what you like as well. And it's okay to explore your body. You
Right.
never know
And
some things you may be turned on about.
yes, and it, when you have great communication in a relationship, you have great sex. It kind of almost equates because you feel
Mm.
free enough to be yourself with that person. So if you feel like you're free enough to be yourself with that person, you're open to the experience of it all. You're not feeling like
Mm.
you're hiding something, because when you feel like you're hiding something, you're tense. So you're not going to enjoy the moment.
Mm.
It's not
Yeah,
going to be free flowing. It's going to be very tense for you. So that's why communication in all forms and fashion are important.
absolutely. So Celeste, she wrote something very good. I love this. She said, facts. I really think people think amazing sex is just supposed to flow, when in fact, you need to communicate what you like. The more communication may feel hard,
Hmm.
but you will have your needs met.
Thank you. Yes, it and my catchphrase is learn what you need and be unapologetic for it.
Oh,
And the
repeat that again?
learn what you need and be unapologetic for it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We're too old to have bad sex. We're too old
Don't
for that.
waste don't waste your drops.
No, we too old for that. And we're in a age now where there's all kinds of enhancements and toys and people for that matter. Don't be in a relationship with bad sex. Now, again, that you're not having sex with a person 24 hours a day. But if you're having bad sex, is it because you're not communicating your wants and your needs? Are you having bad sex because you have an aversion? Are you having stress? So there's many levels to why you're having bad sex. So what we got to do is we got to figure out what that is and why. Um, I'm having bad sex because the person has a small penis. Okay, well, what are you gonna do to enhance your experience?
Right.
Don't just, again, don't just come with a problem. Come with a solution as well.
I love it. And Celeste said, say that again for the people in the back. And God's construction said, I know, right, Celeste? So
Yes.
we have a few more. I'm gonna end with something that I saw, but
Okay.
this one was really good. The unrealistic expectations movies give us about sex. Someone sent this to me, and it kind
And
of goes back to what Celeste was saying. It's about the communication, but people always think like it's always totally clean and no mess at all, and that orgasms are always perfectly coordinated.
no, they're not. But what
Mm.
you can do is, shameless plug again. You can find a way to try to sync your styles.
Mhm.
Tantric sex is a good one. Breathing together is one. Learning how to do breath work with your
That's hot.
partner is good. And I really love tantric because tantric is much more than just the physical. It's the
Can you explain
spiritual.
tantric sex?
Yes, it's kind of it. Tantric sex is the whole experience of sex. It's, really relating to a person's mind versus just their body. You're
Ooh.
syncing with them. Your energy is flowing with them. It's very sensual in that form and fashion. But there's also different positions that you do to sync with your partner that are not necessarily penetrating. So to me, tantric sex is very more sensual. It brings you,
Sounds
close.
erotic.
It is. It brings you closer to your partner, and sex isn't always quote unquote sex, and it's the physical intimacy part that we consider sex. But again, as we talked about earlier, there's the emotional intimacy that you need, the spiritual intimacy that you need, and these are just totally good ways to try to sync on all of the levels with your partner.
Mm. So it's almost as the art of sex, but not the act.
Yes, it's the I love the fact that people their energies try to match up. And when your
Hmm.
energy is matching with your partner and it's flowing, it's very emotional, and it's very fulfilling. And you don't necessarily, it's that moment when you feel like your souls are captured, and there's nobody else around but the person that you're looking at. And that's the one part about love that I love is
Yeah.
being the attachment to your partner or partners, so that your relationship is cohesive, and it's free flowing and it's unpretentious, and all
Yeah.
those words. It's just, I love the movement and the flow of love.
Right.
I'm
It
sorry, I could
definitely
talk
isn't.
about that all day.
Hey, I'm here for it. It's definitely an exchange of energy. Oof.
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Speaking of attachment, now this is something I found and I thought was so interesting. It said, "Did you know that your attachment style can influence your sex life? Our attachment patterns predict, to a large extent, the way we approach and act in relationships. Sex is central and an important part of our intimate relationships. Our attachment styles affect us in the bedroom."
And that's completely true. That is completely
Never knew
true.
that.
Think about it. How many times have you seen somebody who was like, why the hell are they with them? We've said that, you know,
Yes.
but again, we have to understand, our boundaries and what we're related to is sometimes not exactly what everybody sees. I'm gonna tell you all a little secret. Who you are attracted to has a lot to do with your self esteem and your self worth and your self love.
Mm. Mm.
They mirror. How many times, unfortunately, have we seen that movie where, there's two crackheads in the alley together? Because they doing the same thing. Their energies are matching. You ain't never really going to see, a crackhead sitting there with a CEO of a company, unless
Right,
the
right.
CEO is doing drugs too. Again,
Mhm.
it's matching energies. It's not necessarily what you see on the outside, but you see what their boundaries are on the outside. So that's why sometimes people question, well, why are they with so and so? That's why.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
When
I mean, it's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. It's a science, that's for sure.
yeah, definitely. Um, I'm going to read this and we'll start winding it down unless you
Okay.
have some other, because I love talking to you a lot. I'm,
I'm open. I mean, I'm here.
well, good. That means you can come back another time.
Yes, I
I would
definitely will.
love that. Wait, okay. This I thought was cute. The quote said, and this is from her therapy secrets. I've actually had her as a guest on my show as well. She's another sex therapist. She's amazing. And she said, it takes 237 muscles to fake an orgasm, but only 15 to say it's called a clitoris and it's right here. Communication.
Communication, that mouth, I mean, it can do wonders if you just open it and you use your voice. If you use your
Literally.
voice. And the thing is again, you should be able to speak and say what you want. You are an adult. You know,
Mm,
whether you want to do it or not, that's your decision, but you should stand on your principles and say it. You know, no one has to live your life for you but you. So what are
mm.
you gonna do? Are you gonna hide behind a mask, or are you gonna be free flowing? Because again, when we feel all tense and blocked up, we're not our happy selves. You know, you
Facts.
have to be able. It's like, the meaning of gay is happy. You know, they're happy
Hmm.
they came out. They're able to be free. You know, and that's with anybody. And I'm not just talking sexually. Of course, sexually is my niche, of course, but I mean, you need to be who you are in life in general, and
Absolutely.
and 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 if you feel like you need help in some area, go seek the help that you need. Mental health issues do happen. It's not a stigma anymore. Go get the help
No.
that you need. Go talk to somebody. Go reach out. Are you going to sit around and be toxic for the rest of your life? We
Mm,
detox our bodies. Why can't you detox your mind as well?
exactly. And it's okay.
It's it's perfectly okay.
I forgot what I was listening to. It was last night and it was another podcast and it was an open forum and it was a safe open forum. So meaning there was no judgment. And this sister came up and she was very honest and she said that it's just now that her eyes have opened and she's seeking counseling, that she feels that it's easier just to stay toxic because it's just easier because it's what she knows. But I got it. I understood, and a lot of people understood as well.
Staying toxic for people is easier because they don't want to do the work and dig through that.
Yeah, that's
And
exactly what was said.
and it's hard because you're damaging yourself. You're taking years off your life with the stress and the trauma that is inside, and the tenseness that you take around with you, you know
Mm,
versus releasing that. Yes, it's going to be hard work, but it's like working out. Think about it. Them first couple of weeks when we're working out, we like, damn, I had an ass muscle. But
right.
as you continue to do your lunges and you're running and you're doing this, what happens? Other stuff starts sloshing off, which is fat and water weight and all that, but your muscles start firming up. So you're becoming stronger. When your muscles tense up, you're becoming stronger, and you getting your body right. You're pushing out of
Hmm.
everything else and bringing everything else in. So you have to look at it like that analogy. It's gonna be hard those first couple of weeks.
Right.
Nobody wants to disturb that, but you're getting that muscle right. You're getting it so
Mm.
that it functions the way that it needs to. And think of yourself as that muscle. You need to function the way that you need to.
I love that. Yes. Yeah. Speaking of muscles, what about orgasms? How many, what's your percentage of women that you've come across that fake their orgasms?
Well, I will say this. A majority, again, I never say all, majority of women that I know and have dealt with and coached have admitted to faking an orgasm or two.
Mhm.
But again, I say, why would you fake an orgasm? Because that's not letting your partner know what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a difference between faking an orgasm because you want them to get up because you're tired, but there's a the other flip side of it is faking an orgasm because you're trying to appease them. You're not getting
Yeah.
what you need, you know, and you really shouldn't be faking an orgasm in any form or fashion anyway. If you're tired and you're finished with the session, you can maneuver in a way that frees that up,
Mm-hmm.
but that's essentially lying, you know
Mm-hmm.
but in the same breath, like I said, if you're faking an orgasm to appease your partner and not damage their ego, you're not getting what you need, and you're going to continue to fake orgasms. That's where communication comes in. I like when you do this, or if they're doing something and it's something that you particularly like, be more vocal about it so they know that's what you like.
Right.
There's little things that you can do, subtle hints, so to say, to let your partner know what you like and what you dislike. But again, it goes down to communication.
That is the common denominator tonight, the word
Yes.
communication.
Yes, communication is a must.
Yeah, with yourself and with your partner.
Yes.
Any parting words, Dr. San, with your wonderful self?
Thank you. I really hope that somebody got something out of this. I really hope that if you are having an issue with your quote unquote voice, um, go see somebody to help you get your voice, to gather your voice. If you need to go to a sex therapist and go to a counselor, please do. If your insurance allows you to go to a therapist, please do. If you can't afford it, and or you want to try alternative medicine, go to a holistic coach, go to a relationship, dating, and intimacy coach. Speaking of which, everybody
Mhm.
who follows should know that even Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith went to an intimacy coach.
Really?
Yes, they did. That was a reason why they got over a lot of the August Alsina stuff that went on. They went to go see a intimacy coach. So,
That's
you know,
amazing.
it's not necessarily a death sentence to go see a coach or a therapist. Go get the
Hmm.
help that you need. Make sure that you're cohesive with your partner or your partners, again, according to your lifestyle, and get your stuff right. That's why there's so many breakups and divorces, because no one
Yeah,
communicates. Speak your
agreed.
truth. Speak your truth.
Agreed. Agreed. Where can everyone find you, Dr. San?
Yes, you can find me at letslearnlove.com is my website if you're interested in anything that I have to offer. I offer personal and group coaching sessions. So if you follow me on social media, on any form of fashion, then you'll see when I have group sessions, or I always run a number of um, sessions, like packages on sale, because my goal at the end of the day is to help people.
Right.
Yes, I need to make money because I have to live, but at the end of the day, I don't want to die with this knowledge and not being able to help somebody. So
Oh,
there's a lot of packages that I have, a lot of specials. Speaking of which, shameless plug, since yesterday was International Women's Day, whether you're a man or a woman, since I am a famous and fabulous woman, and I say famous because I am famously made by God, um, I am doing 50% off all coaching packages, relationship, dating, or intimacy. Um, yes, and if you let me know that you saw the broadcast, maybe I have an extra special gift for you.
oh,
So,
that's hot off the press, everyone.
yes,
I
and
love that.
yes, and real quick, next week I am holding a relationship detox course all week long. It's Monday through Friday. It's very nominal. But we got to detox these relationships, all types of relationships. We're talking about romantic, work, and family, and what to do. What does a relationship detox look like? What do you need it for? Just all the questions that you need to ask. So if you're interested, you can go to my website and see the information there as well.
Amazing. Everyone listening, I dropped Dr. Sands, all her links, her social media links, their live links in the comment section right now, as well in the show description note. And if you cannot do that, just go ahead and screenshot her website right here.
Yes.
No excuse. She can be found. Right. So make sure you check her out, take her up on her offer. That's very
Yes.
gracious of her. And make sure if there's anything that made your soul vibrate, please like, comment, share this video so we can get the algorithms up in this YouTube universe. Right?
Yes, most definitely. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me yet again.
Thank you for coming again. You know I'm going to reach out to you again. I love talking to you. You are so easy, and I always learn. Oh, guess what, Dr. Sand?
Yes.
You are still a Black girl that has her shift together.
Hey, thank you, God, because Lord knows I need God to keep all this foolishness together.
I love it. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure and tune in next Wednesday for another episode of Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. Good night.
Good night.
For the queen, sisters manifesting their dreams. Get your cream by any means and beam with self-esteem. Beauty supreme and Buddha walk so mean. The way you fit in them jeans, you eat your cornbread and greens. Dance or a doctor, red wine or vodka. Redesign your spot and redefine your mantra. Retwist your locks and realign your chakras. Doing your squats and getting closer to God, huh? Brunching with your squad or taking a girl's trip. Adjust your crown, you God's gift to the world, sis. Celestial body, drink your water. Meditate, sun kiss goddess, heavenly order. Levitate, tribe of Ashanti, black girl magic, melanin popping, whether you ratchet or lavish, whether you bougie or savage, you a gift and a treasure. You got to love a black girl getting a shift together. Black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, man. These black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, dog.